My name is Valeria Garcia Tavarez. I was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm the proud daughter of Mexican immigrants from Chihuahua, Chihuahua. I am inspired to do my work in immigration law every day by my clients more than anything. I became interested in immigration law because of my parents and my connection with the immigrant community, but I absolutely stay in this work because of just how deeply inspiring my clients are. Their resilience to not only live in this country, but to fight to prosper in this country is just deeply motivational to me. I've been practicing immigration law since 2019. I first started in private practice, so I learned to represent clients in all kinds of immigration matters, including family immigration, naturalization, humanitarian-based work, etc. Now at the New Mexico Immigrant Law Center, I am a senior attorney for our Survivor of Crimes program. So my work, for the most part, consists of continuing direct legal representation for survivors of crime, survivors of domestic violence, human trafficking, that sort of thing. I basically represent them through the life of their case, from developing a strategy for their affirmative application that we will file with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, to meeting with the clients, understanding what work is going to be done, understanding what their rights are while they're living in the United States, filing, of course, their application, responding to any notices or requests from the government, and hopefully, if all goes well, also just sharing in the joy of receiving whatever status we're seeking. I also, right now, am actually an adjunct professor at the UNM School of Law. I teach immigration law over at the law school. I also provide just a lot of community advocacy work through my position at the NMILC, which is very special. I love being immersed in the community and collaborating with other partners in our advocacy of the immigrant community. So I give presentations, participate in panels for just different community events, that sort of thing. All of my clients have impacted me in different ways, truly, but there are kind of two cases that have impacted me because of, I guess, just who they represent. I had a client who impacted me specifically because she reminded me of my mom. She is a very resilient, hardworking woman who unfortunately did not have very many options for immigration relief because of her immigration history. And she decided to come forward and basically step into the light with ICE to ask for her deportation order to be paused because she is a single mother and had children with different medical needs and was their sole caretaker. And so she impacted me because she reminds me a lot of my mom. Just women who will do anything and be as resilient as they need to be, not only for themselves, but for their family. And I just saw a lot of my mom in that client. And so she will always stay in my heart for sure. Other clients in particular who have impacted me have been children and minors. It is always very astounding to me how children in this country, just because of their immigration status, are not awarded the opportunity to, or I guess are not required to have full legal representation when navigating this very complex system of immigration laws. And so whenever I work with children specifically, it's just a reminder of how unjust the immigration system is in this country. I first became interested in immigration law once I kind of really understood what it means to not be born in the United States and what a privilege it is to be just randomly lucky enough to be born in this country, because the more you get to understand the immigration system, the more you realize that it really is not built to protect immigrants. It is a very closed door policy unless you meet one of the very narrow exceptions, right? And so understanding just the complexity of that really pushed me to pursuing a career in immigration law as an attorney. But actually my time with my master's program at the LAII really helped solidify kind of that resolve that was what my focus was going to be. Just learning about the socio-political context of different countries, especially in Latin America, and how those factors can have a ripple effect with immigration from people from certain countries years down the road, I thought was very fascinating to me. And so, yeah, that's kind of what pushed me to follow a career in immigration. So when I was in undergrad, one of my professors in the Spanish department, Dr. Catherine McKnight, encouraged me to apply for the MALAS dual degree program, where I could get a master's in Latin American studies and a law degree sort of simultaneously. And I decided to apply and I got in. And so in the law school aspect, I feel like that was where I felt maybe the most intimidated. I was very lucky that through my master's program, I was still on main campus. I had a lot of peers who I knew from my undergraduate career, but stepping into law school was very intimidating. I'm the first person in my family to have a graduate degree or any kind of law degree, and so I didn't come with a lot of just experience or knowledge about the field. I just knew I wanted to be an attorney and be an advocate. I just was brand new to this world. I think that my biggest obstacle during law school was just constantly fighting imposter syndrome, constantly feeling like I didn't belong because I was first gen and a woman and Latina. That was definitely one of the biggest obstacles that I had to overcome, and honestly still fight to overcome, especially as a young attorney and entering new spaces. I have to work hard to remind myself that I am an expert in my field, or that I at least have the knowledge necessary to be in the spaces that I'm in. And so that was definitely the biggest challenge of my immigration law journey so far. Something else that was very eye-opening for me in my journey of becoming an immigration lawyer was just truly coming to terms with how complicated it is to navigate this system with the federal government and how easily it can change. There are certain immigration laws that have been in place for, in some cases, decades, but the way that these laws are interpreted, the policies that are chosen for any given time really vary depending on the administration of the federal government at any given time. And so learning just how to be flexible to that and how to constantly be educating yourself and staying as informed as possible is a challenge that I just didn't expect, and they certainly don't teach you that in law school. You learn that, you know, the law is yes, flexible, but is also fairly rigid. And with immigration law, it's a completely other ballgame. And so learning that when I entered immigration practice was very challenging for sure. So when I started the MALAS program, I decided to concentrate my master's work in human rights. And so just understanding the socio-political contexts of the way that violence exists in different Latin American countries, especially violence against women, and how that perpetuated violence, either on an individual level or on a more social, larger scale, how all of that can then influence a person's ability to obtain some kind of immigration relief in the United States. Now that I focus almost entirely on humanitarian-based immigration, A lot of the arguments that I have to make on behalf of my clients consist of explaining why my clients cannot return to their country of origin. And oftentimes, part of my argument is based on the dangers that my clients would face if they were to return to their home country. And so having the context from my work in my master's program has really helped me kind of understand the bigger picture of the origins of whether it be poverty or violence or safety in my clients' country of origin, which often are in Latin America as a whole, how all of that is important as to why my specific client would be in danger if they returned to their home country. And so my master's was deeply informative to just understanding all of that in my work now.